हुसैन, हाय हुसैन।
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من شر الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الميامين المنتجبين، واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في محكم كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ولهم مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم. آمنا بالله، صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم. Inshallah, we are going to continue our topic of preparing the family. The reason we are taking so much time in the foundation of the family, aka husband and wife, because the progeny starts from the husband and wife. So therefore, we said that the criteria, if you want your marriage to be a project to support our beloved Imam Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, so your spouse must be God-loving, taqwa. Your spouse, be it husband or wife, must have patience, sabr. Then Allah will be with you. Inna Allah ma'as-sabirin. And your spouse must have the capacity to forgive and forget and move on, unless if it was for crimes such as the terrorists and the evil ones who kill and murder innocent children and innocent people. Those are the crimes. They are not compromisable in Islam. We take our distance with them. Those who have animosity with Ahlulbait AS. So therefore, it is very important for us to understand that the forgive and forget is a nature which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardons. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafurur Rahim. And then comes the fourth point or fourth pillar of a proper marriage that would be in support of our Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, is the duties and responsibilities. In duties and responsibilities, we have to be very careful that many times we have cultural conception of duties and responsibilities. The cultural aspect is the woman has to work, like clean, cook, do all the chores and everything. That is culture. That is not Islamic. That is not religious. So, what are the duties of men and women, husband and wife? So, let's try to focus on the duties of husband and duties of wife. There are not that many. And quality ones, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in another ayat, Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala nisa. That means they have certain level of authority, not supremacy, authority. So the qaymuma, that means they have the management responsibility, financial responsibility. They are going to take care of their family. Ar-rijalu qawwamuna doesn't mean, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already in our previous session we mentioned the taqwa, the love of God in the heart is the criteria of a person being having supremacy over other person. Other than that, the apparent taqwa is a gauge to sense the taqwa inside the heart. But inside the heart, it could be something different. So, الرجال قوامون على النساء. قيمومة, he is guardian of the family. He is guardian over the women. He's guardian, he's responsible. He has authority. So Islam made authority. Why? Because every system requires authority. If you have a shop, You have someone who's authorized. If you have a business, authority. School, there's authority. Hospital, authority. Every system. Country, authority. So there are authorities in every system. Islam looks at the family structure as a system that requires a boss. A boss doesn't mean in an aspect of supremacy. A boss means a manager, a director, somebody who would run the family. Run from which aspect? If you have a center, there is a responsible person on the center, an Islamic center. So he has the responsibility to run and manage. What are these management responsibilities? Financial, collecting the funds, spending in the center. Husband, working, earning, spending on the family. That's financial responsibility, management responsibility. Making sure that things go in order in the center or in the school. The husband needs to make sure that there's a peace, stability in the family. The needs are fulfilled, the requirements are fulfilled. There's no disturbance, there is no fight, there's no uh, children fighting with their mom, children fighting with each other. That needs to have a strong hold. So that is what Allah is aiming at. الرجال قوامون على النساء. They have the qaymuma, they have the management responsibility over the women. And based on this, all the responsibility in Islam can be understood. For example, divorce. They say why women they don't have the right to divorce. Because divorce is like a business, you're hiring somebody, then you fire somebody. So husband is responsible of paying the sustenance, the food, shelter, livelihood, everything. That means husband is paying a salary. Husband is providing, the provider. That means the worker is supposed to submit to the boss. So there's a kind of boss kind of relation. Obviously, I'm trying to make an example clearer. Let's say not boss, let's say authority, manager. So there's a manager, there's a worker. So manager can fire the worker, but the worker cannot fire the manager. And if the manager he wants to fire the worker or he's upset, he will go to somebody who's above the manager. He'll go to the authority, he'll go to the police, he'll go to the court. And then the court is above the manager. See how he cannot fire the manager. The manager has hired, and who hires can fire. So what if he is not happy with the manager? He will go to the authority above the manager. What if there was no authority above the manager? Uh, the institutions, the judiciary institutions, the court, the judge. You file a complaint against your manager. The same thing when a husband, since husband is the one who brought the wife in the house, okay, and he accepted. So like even the marriage contract, like is like filing a kind of job offer. For example, I'm just trying to let you understand the system aspect. There are variances, moral variances there in both systems. But the requirements of the system, I want you to understand the methodology of the system. So when in Islam, the marriage, the wife says, I've made myself your wife, O husband. Would you accept? The husband says, qabilt. What does that mean? She's putting the husband is looking for job, a worker. Okay, for example, worker, and just to let you understand the system. He's looking for a worker. Okay, so and then he gets a worker. Let's say he's a company. So he looks at the CV. Okay, he says, okay, I accept your request to work here. And then is the manager. He gives him the duties and responsibilities. So the husband is looking for a wife. A guy is looking for a wife. So now if he finds those women who are looking for husband, looking for a job, for example, in our example. So she says in the marriage contract, Zawajtuka nafsi, I've made myself your wife. Would you accept? The guy says, Qabilt. So the manager accepts the job appeal from the worker, the application to work. So she has application of marriage. And the guy says, I'm going to give you some dowry. And then I'm going to be responsible of paying you monthly food, shelter, all the necessities of life. So I'll be the provider and you will have a job. I will have a responsibility to provide you. You will have a responsibility to serve me. Both sides. So there's a system. Okay. So now, when divorce happens, divorce is like firing somebody from job. The worker cannot fire the manager. The worker, he is hired and he can be fired. So the wife cannot divorce the husband. So the husband can only divorce because he hired her. For example, I'm trying to, because people, they don't understand this concept. So I'm trying to bring an example of a system which is applicable here. However, there are some moral variances. Okay. I'm saying moral variances. So wife is not a worker. Wife has a greater role than a worker. Husband is not a job an employer. Okay, he has more role than the manager of the store or manager of or the company or whatever. So there are moral variances. The role of husband and wife are not the role of employer and employee. However, the system in which the contract is made, this is called in Islam mu'amalat, the civil contract. Marriage is a civil contract. Okay, it comes into the chapter of mu'amalat. Though it converts the haram to halal, however, it is kept in the chapter of mu'amalat. It is tawassuli, not ta'abbudi. It is civil contract. So now, so the divorce is in the hand of the guy. Now, let's say the employee is disturbed. The worker is disturbed from the boss. He will go and file his complaint to someone who's above the boss. Okay, the director of the company or to the authorities, police, file a complaint there or a case in the court. So it will go to the authority above and they will sort out and they will try to release the worker from the husband. If the, I mean, release the worker from the employer or in an amicable way, providing the rights. Otherwise, the guy can fire and the worker will not get their rights properly. So by seeking help from the authorities, he's making sure that he will get his rights. So the bottom line is the employee cannot fire, but he can go up and try to get his rights from above the husband. The same thing in Islam. Wife cannot sorry. The same thing in Islam. Wife cannot divorce. However, she can go to the religious authority, file her complaint. What are the problems? What are the situation? The religious authority then intervenes and divorce the wife from the husband. So that is why, because Islam has made a system and made an authority, so there are certain responsibilities upon the authorized person, and there are certain responsibilities on the person who is working under this authorized person or who is under the subject of this authorized person. And as I mentioned, the moral roles and responsibilities are totally different. Okay, having said that, so what are the duties of men and what are the duties of women so that they can have a healthy family, a family that could be productive in the direction to support our Imam Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif, using the taqwa, the patience, and forgive and forget So knowing the rights and responsibilities. So what are the responsibilities of the husband? Allah says, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa." The responsibilities of the husbands are as follows. If you are a husband, then note your responsibilities. Number one, providing all the necessities of life. Food, obligatory. You don't have to provide lavish, luxurious. However, you have to provide whatever you eat, feed her, whatever you wear, obviously, the value wise, whatever value wise you wear, she has the right to wear. Anyhow, whatever is known in the average people, that husband provides food, shelter, clothing, medication, even the kafan, the shroud of the dead person, the necessities of life, all these things are provided by the husband. So that means husband has responsibility as a provider. Remember, salary giver, this is the provider. Okay. So if husband fails his responsibility, the wife cannot divorce herself from him, but she can file a case against him, and the religious authority can divorce her from this marriage. The religious authority can break down this marriage, null this marriage, dissociate this marriage, and issue a decree of talaq, bypassing the husband. You see? So she has the right to go on the top of the husband. Now, what happens opposite? Opposite. If what are the responsibilities of women? Not that much. Husband has so many responsibilities. The wife has a few. What are these few? Bed rights. And you can see how compatible it is. Husband works day and night, puts all his effort. It becomes more many times nowadays, especially stressful for him to be out there meeting different types of people, headache, and for earning livelihood and putting bread, butter, and honey on the table. So this providing drains his energy. Husband needs to recharge his batteries. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made wife a battery recharger. Okay. So she's a battery recharger of the husband. How? She's packed, husband is packed with physical energy to bring, okay, bil ma'roof. Okay. Mithlu alladhi alayhi. You have you have responsibilities according to your nature, capacity, built up structure, psychologically, morphologically, physically, physiologically, everything. She has her structure. God has made both of them in a specific structure so they can have a holistic, integrated, complete uh, structure of a family working with each other. Physical energy, emotional energy. So she's packed with emotional energy. She's packed with love. So and emotions. So when the husband comes, he needs that emotion rather than smelling the onion and garlic and those kind of things. She needs some kind of decent attraction, okay, emotional attraction, a smile to diffuse that stress, like that iron the rod which absorbs the electrical shocks, okay, electrical currents and shock absorbing iron. So that's the woman. She's iron. She absorbs all the shock and all the problems and provides a great passion of love. So this is a responsibility, the bed rights. So he is someone who drains his energy. He needs to recharge his batteries. He can plug himself to his wife emotionally, obviously, so that they can have a strong emotional bond, and she absorbs all the stress from the husband. So this is how Islam made the compatibility between both. One has one aspect of nature, another has another aspect of nature. So the wife has only that. You see, Islam gave her two responsibilities: the intellectual society or indirect Islamic responsibility, or natural responsibility is the third one. What is the first one? The bed rights. He needs to re-energize so that next day is back like a horse to working day and night and brings the livelihood. So he needs to be recharged. If stress outside, stress in the house, she nags and he has a problem, and so then there's going to be disturbance and chaos in the family structure. So here they both support each other. Wife has another responsibility. Like as we mentioned, the worker, they say why she's not allowed to go out of the house without the permission of the husband. Okay. So here, the permission of the husband is necessary. Why? If you are working in an institution, so you cannot go out without taking the permission of the manager, of the authorized person above you. Why? Because you need to the boss might need you anytime. He may call you, Fulan, can you come to my office? Oh, and he's not there. So in case if you want to go, you need to tell the boss, I have to pick up my kids from the school. I have to go here. You need to take the permission that when your boss needs you, he's aware that you are not there in that time. Or he can tell you, no, please don't go from this time to this time. We have an important meeting. You have to be here because he hired you. He has set up certain responsibilities on your shoulder. So this is what happens where a structure where there is authority and under the authority, there has to be a cooperation between both. So now if a wife, she wants to go out, she needs to take the permission from the husband. In case the husband needs to recharge himself or he needs some emotional support anytime, any moment, and his wife is not there, she's somewhere outside, so she needs to inform the husband that I need to go out from this time to this time, and I'll be back at this time. So the husband knows that when he needs her, he will be needing her. When he needs her, he will be needing her in that. So that's why now the ulamas, the maraja, they have different opinion here. Some maraja, they say the wife can go out anytime from without the permission of the husband, as long as there is no conflict in the requirement of the husband. So as long as the husband does not need her for his specific needs, for his stress relieving activities, she can go out and there's no problem. So the only time which is prohibited for her to go out is when the husband needs her. Because when the wife needs food, shelter, necessities of life, husband provides her instantly. So when the husband needs what he needs, then the wife also should provide him whenever he needs. Okay, this is the wajib. However, if they have mutual agreement on certain way, that's fine. If the husband says, no, you don't have to take my permission, you can go, but whenever I need you, I'll let you know I need you from this time to this time. Please be at home. Like the guy in the factory, no, you can go, but whenever I need you, I'll let you know I need you from this time to this time to have a meeting. So therefore, the mutual agreements we keep aside. In Urdu, they say, "Agar miyan bibi razi, to kya karega Qasim?" Husband and wife, they have a mutual agreement. That's fine. Then they don't need to use the law. Uh, if husband and wife are in consensus or agreement, then they don't need to go to the judiciary issues, and they don't need to bring judge. They don't need to bring Ayatollah Sistani as fatwa. No, they can live their life mutually respecting each other, because these are civil matters. But if they have dispute, then the judge will come in. Then Ayatollah Sistani's fatwa will come in. So you can see that this is where the authority system, authoritative system comes in. where they both have needs. When the wife needs are met, the husband's needs should be met. And when the husband needs require the existence or the presence of the wife at home. So that's why she cannot leave the house without the permission of the husband. So as I said, there are two opinions. Some scholars, they say that she can leave the house with whatever, whenever she wants to leave, as long as husband does not need her, okay, in a specific time or a specific thing. Other scholars like Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah, he says the same thing. However, he says, yes, if the husband needs her, that's must. She must not leave the house if the husband needs her. How about if the husband does not need her? Can he leave without his permission? Here Ayatollah Sistani says obligatory precaution. He says, I don't have any strong evidences that she cannot leave. However, to me, I'm using a precautionary measure, which is obligatory precaution, that she should not leave at any time, whether the husband needs or does not need, without the permission of the husband, unless if there is a mutual consensus that the husband has given her green light and told her that from this time to this time I'll need you, so she should not go. But other than that, if there's no consensus, no mutual agreement, so she should not leave, as a fatwa of Ayatollah Sistani, when husband needs her. And if the husband does not need her, then as an obligatory precaution on a wife to seek permission from the husband. Maybe he might need her. It's a precautionary measure. So this is all what is required from the wife. Okay, the bed rights, number one, the emotional charging. The number two is not leaving the workplace or the system without the permission of the one who is the guardian or the authority. The third responsibility is said intellectual responsibility, natural responsibility, and that is the responsibility of a mother as a motherhood, as a wife, as a mother of the children. So if the husband is outside all the time and the wife, she's working outside, then who will take care of the children? So there is either husband leaves the job and takes care of the children, or the wife takes this mission. As you see, when you walk into the park, you see the duck, female duck with the ducklings going behind her, the chicken with small chicks going behind her, the lioness and the cubs. So it's always a mother. Most of the time, you see a mother animal, and the small birds are always following, and she takes care of them. She nurtures them. Okay. She teaches them how to fly, how to eat, how to walk, talk, how to run, all these kind of things. So the educational aspect is totally upon the mother, because the husband doesn't have time. If he has time, yes, they both can do. But if not, and that is where the jihad of a woman comes, because jihad of woman is both. Like jihad means, if she, God forbidding, dies in serving her husband properly or taking care of her children properly, she goes direct to the paradise. So this is something which we wanted to point out about the responsibilities of the husband and wife. And as I said, husband, wife, they both have responsibilities. They are equal in weight. Heavy, wife has heavy responsibility, husband has heavy. So there is mithil, walahunna mithlu alladhi, equal. However, quality wise, okay, they are not equal. Quantity wise, they are equal in weight. Walahun, for them, mithlu alladhi alayhinna, exactly as it is required upon them. So if they are required bed rights, not leaving without the permission, taking care of the children, then there are rights, responsibilities. Husband, he has to do. And what is that? The another next ayat which I recited, qawwamun, the management, the authoritative responsibility. And that's why when Allah says, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. For them is exactly equal. We said equal quantity wise, but different quality wise, as it is upon them. So to them is as it is, to them there are obligations for them as there are obligations upon them. But وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ daraja. There is a rank, a degree of men, husband above them. And what is this degree? It's the degree or the level of responsibility and authority, not supremacy. Okay? And then another ayat which we mentioned, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ, that indicates the management of the husband over the wife. So this is something which was the fourth thing, that the responsibility. If the husband and wife, they have mutual understanding, they can do whatever they want to do. But if they have a dispute, they come to Ayatollah Sistani or their marja, then they will decide, okay, husband, these are your responsibilities, you observe them. Wife, these are your responsibility, you observe them, and live happily and support your generation to support Imam alayhi salatu wasalam. So if you will fulfill your responsibilities, you are supporting Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala, and you are the best supporters. Why? We mentioned, if you want to love Ahlul Bayt, one of the ways to express your love to Ahlul Bayt is what? Stay away from haram, do the wajibat. And that is exactly how you support Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam, and how you support Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. And that's how you get a progeny who would have highest level of moral values, plus that urge for sacrificing themselves and defending their imam, like we have. So we have today we are going to talk about a personality which has not been spoken by many members, and that is one of the sons of Muslim ibn Aqil. His name is Abdullah ibn Muslim. Abdullah, son of Muslim ibn Aqil. He was there in Karbala. So when Muslim ibn Aqil was martyred, Muslim ibn Aqil had two small sons who have not reached the age of adolescence. They were less than 10 years old. And then their brother, elder brother Abdullah, he was with Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam in Karbala. So Abdullah ibn Muslim ibn Aqil, he came out defending Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And in the narration, it is mentioned that he was trying to defend himself from the arrows. Okay, like you put your hand here so that the arrow does not come to your eye or your face. So an evil person shot an arrow direct to his hand. The arrow went through his hand to his forehead, and his hand got stuck, and the arrow got plunged inside his forehead. And Abdullah, son of Muslim ibn Aqil, he said, "Oh God, Allahumma innahum istaqalluna wastadhalluna." Oh God, they gave us pledge and they abandoned us and they humiliated us. So, oh God, kill them as they killed us. And then another arrow came. So the enemy says that I saw the arrow was stuck in his forehead with his hand. So when his hand got stuck in his forehead with the arrow, he could not defend his body. They started shooting the spears, and they hurted him badly, and he fell down as a martyr. And then the enemy came. He said, I tried to take out one arrow, and I started pulling the arrow hardly. Bless the heart of Abdullah, son of Muslim ibn Aqil. How painful this was, that the arrow did not, the arrowhead stayed inside his forehead, and the stick of the arrow came out. This was one of the tragedies which was hurtful for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. But it's not just that. Muslim ibn Aqil gave so many sacrifices. His son was martyred. His women were taken captives with Zainab alayhi salam. But when Muslim ibn Aqil was martyred. They knew that Muslim ibn Aqil had two small sons. These two small sons, they kept wandering here and there and back and forth until they ended up into the house of a very wicked, vicious, evil person. His name was Harith. So Harith, he realized that these two children are hiding as refuge in his house, and his wife gave him refuge. He took these two kids out and he wanted to kill them. So he asked his slave to kill. A slave refused. How can I kill the children of Rasulullah? And then he asked his son. The son refused to kill these two innocent children. And then he became angry. And then the mother, the wife of Harith, she said that, why do you want to kill these innocent children? She came in front of these two innocent children. They were so cute and so dear. They had the glow, the beauty of the Hashemites. But this evil person, he injured his wife also. He did not care about anything else other than the promised gift which was promised to him if he brings these two children. He was supposed to bring these two children, but look what he did. He wanted to kill one of them. They said that, please give us some time. We want to offer some salat. So he did not give them some time. So then he wanted to kill the elder son. The small came in between them. He said, no, don't kill my elder son. Kill me first, because I can't see my elder son in front of me dead. Please kill me. So he wanted to kill the small. The elder son said, no, you kill me first. I can see my small young brother flip-flopping in the mud and the blood in front of my eyes. So this mal'oon, he struck the neck of the elder son of Muslim ibn Aqil, and he beheaded and he threw the body in the Euphrates River. And then he took the small son. The small son took the head of his brother and he started kissing and crying. The Mal'oon, he took him and he beheaded the younger son. He beheaded the younger son and he threw his body in the river. He took these two heads and brought him as a present to Ibn Ziyad Mal'oon. How great tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqil, that his head was thrown from the palace of Kufa. His son Abdullah bin Muslim, his head was plunged with the arrow in his hand, and his two children, innocent sons, their head was cut off from that body. Wa Muslima, wa musibata. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين والعاقبة للمتقين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.